I mean, that's a really good question. I think it's definitely a massive issue in our society. You know, we are just essentially social creatures and we thrive in a kind of like communal, big extended family kind of environment.
I think loneliness often comes from not actually being isolated, but feeling like you can't connect to people.
If you tell someone that you feel lonely, it's seen as quite weak, but I mean, everyone feels lonely.
I think we live in a really individualistic society right now.
As a human being, you really often think about me and how other people see me, and if we start to like empathize more with other people and think more about other people and not how can I only improve my life, but how can we improve our lives together, that would like combat loneliness that many people probably feel, because they feel alone in that sense that they always need to try to like make their life better because everyone else's life seems to be so good.
Fundamentally, I think there needs to be a political shift. I think a capitalist society will never fully combat loneliness in a society where individualism is glorified.
Capitalism and the way it individualizes and atomizes is definitely a negative force. Fostering kind of like relations and exchange that takes more like communal forms, more mutual aid type models.
We find partners to have a lot of roles, and like so one partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you have to have a lot of roles in that one person. But I think it's really important that like we start to branch out those roles into bigger, like you can use friendships and stuff like that to like fulfill those roles rather than just like one person. We need to look back a little bit and kind of reassess how we play different roles in our society.
Kids shouldn't be taught just maths, English, science. I think that they should be taught community and like communication. I don't think that we should have fenced off gardens and things like that. I think that makes people antisocial.
I'm personally interested in exploring more communal ways of living.
Clubs are always great in terms of they have that one thing in common that brings people together, but it would somehow be nice to get rid of that one thing and just be like, here's space, just turn up. Yeah, just bringing people together, but not necessarily for any specific reason other than to be in the presence of others.
Opening up spaces, community spaces for free is quite important. People who are most isolated in some respects are often those that are poorest. Teenagers are very lonely, and I think spaces where teenagers are able to get together and collaborate on something which is not restricted by finance, it can often bring a lot of different people together. So I think encouraging the arts and encouraging the arts at a price which is kind of affordable to all. I also think arts are a really good way of encouraging people to be alone but not lonely. You can be sat in a room with a piano or a guitar on your own, but you're exploring something. I don't feel lonely when I do music. I think it also just encourages independence, and I think that's very different from being lonely. Yeah.
I'm alone, and I have been for the last 6 years, living on my own, but I'm not lonely. To combat loneliness, I think you've actually got to go out of your front door and step out into the street.
Stay outside.
Meet people. Don't hide yourself in the house because you'll keep on being lonely. I look after the fridge around the corner, next to the Abbey, and I clean that out on a Sunday morning. So I was there the Sunday morning, dressed like this, cleaning the fridge out. We're giving food freely to the people in England who need it. So we are doing as much as we possibly can to support the community with food. And so that's what I do on a Sunday. Every Sunday I've done that since last September.
Talk more to people about loneliness as well.
Everyone's world is
very different, and we should never like judge. If we stop that, then I think people will feel less lonely and more able to connect with people.
We're not built to be alone.
We should just engage with each other a bit more as like fellow humans.